Hello, everyone. Welcome to Speak Podcast.
What was that? Are you singing? Were you singing?
No, I'm
What's
not.
happening
No, I
here?
stopped myself. I stopped.
Yeah, okay.
Luca doesn't like when I do that, guys.
That's not true.
She hates it so much.
No. I
But
don't
I know
understand.
you love it. Guys, we are at episode 18. What? Really? It's happening? Okay. Well, of course we have Luca, because you heard her before I even got to introduce her.
Every time you come off like super like chipper, it's kind of baffling to me. I'm like, what the fuck is going on right now? What do you mean? What do you mean? What?
I love this show.
Okay.
I love my
Yeah,
peoples.
All right.
All right. Well, today we do have a special guest with us. Cameron's on the show.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Of course. We usually have people on the show that are other YouTube gaming podcast people, but lately we've been having other kinds of people, and I get super excited because I feel like it's a different perspective.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to have new people on the show, you know? So tell us a little bit about you and what you do and who you are.
Yeah, sure. So I am a feminist consultant, and I work with people and helping them incorporate a feminist lens into their work and everyday life, and also unlearn gender expectations and norms so that they can embrace all of themselves and live the life they want, live their full potential. And I have a podcast called Real Feminist Stories. And I am also the co-creator of Whole Self Liberation, which is a resource and movement that combines personal growth and social justice. So we do the inner healing work that is necessary to create the social change. Singing's good.
Let me live. But we do have, there we go. We do have a very heavy show planned. I will say ahead of time, guys. I know that you guys think that I'm crazy for warning you, but listen, you know, I feel like warnings are helpful. So we do have a heavy show, just like last week's show almost, but, you know, a little bit different this time. I feel that, of course, we're going to get, you know, laughs and things like that, but we're also going to talk about some serious topics. And I don't want you guys to, you know, be scared. If you feel like you have to walk away, it's fine. Just come back when you're ready. And if you feel that you are getting a little too heated, also fine. Just take a break and come back later. This show is going to be up later if you feel that you can't stay while it's live because of chat or whatever the reason. Definitely feel free to do what you need to do because self-care, people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's move on to our next segment. Okay, I gotta stop doing that because Luca's gonna be like, woman. All right.
I mean, I don't mind it. It's just a bit odd. That's all.
And our next segment is questions. I like question time. All right, first question is, if you could paint a picture of any scenery you've seen before, what would you paint? Luca made fun of me for this question, but honestly, I feel like, me personally, particular pictures and I do this thing where I'm just like, okay, let's go to my happy place, you know, like when I need to just like relax. And so I try to pull up images in my mind that help me feel better. And so I guess I'm an image person. I don't know. But I honestly really do think that if I could paint, because Lord knows I can't paint for shit. I'm just going to say this right now. But if I could, it would be awesome to paint the sunset. I absolutely, there's something about it that just makes me feel so calm. And the colors in the sky. And it's just like, it starts to get like a little bit cooler if it's like hot out, so that feels nice. Not in winter though. I don't like that. But it's still just like so beautiful to see, and I feel like that's something that, you know, calms me down and makes me feel good. What about you? Luca, what do you think?
Oh, I would paint the city. Like, just, I like going on the train and just riding past everything. And I wish I could like get on top of a building and just be far out and just see everything, the landscape. I really like being in a city. I think it's beautiful, and I love seeing all the people hustling to work and to get to other places. So I think I would paint the city.
Nice. But which, you're talking about your city?
Yeah,
Chicago?
my city. Yeah.
Nice. I think, well, let's not get into a city debate.
Are you gonna say something about New York being better? But
No,
Miss,
of course not. Of course, I would never do something like that.
first of all, you got me side eyeing you right the fuck now. But all right, all right.
No, but Chicago's really nice. I'm not gonna. I've never been there, but I've seen
Oh,
And
pictures.
I've never been, and I've never been to New York. You don't see me saying stuff like, "Oh, well, Chicago's better than XYZ."
I didn't
ma'am.
say it. Oh my god.
But I know you. I know you.
Listen, I would like to visit one day. So there's
Yeah,
that.
I'm gonna see you next year. So
Oh my god, it's so okay. Great. What about you, Cameron? What do you think that a scenery you would like to, paint if you could paint, or do you paint?
No, I mean, I can't paint worse shit either, but I wish I could. Yeah,
I know,
that would be
right?
awesome. Yeah, actually love this question because I love sceneries.
See, she loves the question, Luca.
I love the question. I do. I probably would paint the desert.
Ooh.
I really like the desert. And I know there's different deserts, but probably like the desert in southern Utah, like where there's all these mesas and bluffs and like rock formations and stuff. Oh, yeah.
Nice. I think that's cool. I've never heard the desert. What is it about the desert that you like? The color scheme, or
Yeah, the color scheme. It's a good question. I don't know. Maybe it's like the openness too, because I grew up in the mountains, but I'm not a mountain person, and I always felt trapped in the mountains. So maybe it's like I love the ocean and I love the desert, and maybe it's the openness.
The openness. Yeah, that's true. Because if you think about it, like the city and like other places with like they're just so busy, but the desert is just so serene and quiet.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good. I mean, I would never want to go to the desert and like be stuck there, but
Yeah.
it's very true. It's very like quiet and just like that's a relaxing thought, actually.
Ooh, good.
Cool, nice, awesome. All right, so our next question is: if you could choose to do anything for a day, what would it be, Luca?
go and see you.
Oh my god! I did not expect you to say that. You stinky head, because I was gonna be like, I was going to like, complain about how you're so mean to me, but now that makes up for it. So never mind.
Okay.
That's so sweet. We would have so much fun. Oh my god! When you do come visit, whenever we plan that, it's gonna be like epic.
Oh, okay. I want to go to that place where it's like a club, but you each have your own music. That's really cool.
Oh, it's not a place.
Wait, what's that?
Have you heard of quiet clubbing?
No.
It's basically, it's not necessarily a place. They bring it to other places, and then you can just like go and you find out where they are. But basically, it's that they give each and every person a pair of headphones, and they have 3 different DJs, and each DJ is playing a different genre of music. And so you put the headphones on, and you're in like a space, an open space, like it could be a club, it could be someone's house. People can rent them out, and you dance and you listen to the music, and you just you party, but without the loudness of it all. And you can change which DJ you want to listen to, and you can just start dancing with people who are listening to the same DJ as you, because your headphones light a particular color to coincide with the DJ's color. Yeah, it's really awesome. If you guys don't know, I'm just doing free advertising at this point, but whatever. That shit's lit. I love it. And it's quiet clubbing. You can look it up, and I'm sure they have different names depending on the area, but in New York City, that's what it's called. And yeah.
Wow. I had never heard of such a thing.
Oh my god, it's so much fun. And you just dance, but like you take off your headphones and you can just have a conversation with someone, as opposed to being in a club and having to yell in someone's ear.
Yeah.
Right.
Since I've been to many clubs, that sounds like extremely appealing to me.
Fine, I got you. We will do that.
Okay.
If you could choose to do anything for a day, so I can't top Luca. I will say the same answer, but then that would be like copying off of you, and I'm not gonna do that. So I will say that if I could do anything for a day, I think it would have to be just relaxing, like near a pool, like at a resort or something, and just like laying in a hammock in like on a beautiful day in a nice tropical place with like a nice breeze. Like, oh my God, that right there is honestly, I feel like my life is so hectic and there's so much going on that there's just like no better thing for me than that, and maybe it's because I don't get to do it as often as I would like, but that's just like my happy place, like just like relaxing in a hammock in Puerto Rico, just like swaying back and forth. Those are the days.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. What about you? What would you do for a day?
Well, I won't steal yours, but I definitely like the lying by a pool or the beach or something. But I would love to be at the Blue Lagoon in Iceland, which is like a big hot springs.
Ooh.
And I've been there before, and it's just so amazing. And the only bad thing is like Iceland is really cold, but that's why they have all these hot springs.
Yeah. So. Isn't that it's so freaky, right? It's like so cold, but then there's this place in the earth.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy. I had a friend that went there recently, and she posted a whole bunch of pictures, and I was just like, oh my God, that looks amazing.
It's a pretty amazing place. It's like Mars or something, you know?
Mars. That's cool. I like that answer too. We all had great answers.
Yeah, we did.
All right, next question. Have you ever had a secret admirer? If not, would you want one? Ooh, Luca. Tell me.
I
don't know why I did that. Ooh, I don't know why I did it.
Yeah. No, I don't know. I've no one's ever. I mean, I don't know. I've never gotten like an anonymous message with someone saying I have a crush on you, or I've never been like left a letter or anything like that. I mean, I'm sure there's been people who've had crushes on me and they just haven't said anything. But
yeah, same thing. Like no one's ever been like, oh, you're from your secret admirer. I mean, honestly, look, I feel like it would be kind of creepy now,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, I'm not alone. Okay, good. I was thinking about that. I was just like, it's kind of weird, right? Because then you're like, oh, is this person watching me? Like, then it might cross over to like stalker status.
Yeah.
And who?
Yo, I get like weird ass comments at least 3 or 4 times a week. So I'm kind of like, okay, well,
but
whatever.
At least those people, you like, when they give you comments and they have a name to them, right? It's not like an anonymous, like a fake profile, is it?
No, I mean, there's been a couple of times where it's been a fake profile. Ooh. And I just ignore them.
Does that count as a secret admirer? I mean, if they make a fake profile and they need to send you a message, it's like...
No, because that shit's usually creepy, so...
Okay, well... people, there's a real thin line between creepy and, like, romantic, I guess. Because I've never had that where someone... I don't know, like what you see in the movies and they send you flowers and they're like, from your secret admirer or some shit like that, because like, no. But I will say that I've had people tell me that they like have a crush on me, or, like, are you single, or those kind of things. I guess it's a little bit different. I don't know if I would want a secret admirer, though. I don't like secrets.
I wouldn't.
Nice.
What about you, Cameron?
Well, I've never had like a secret admirer. I've had admirers, but they haven't been they haven't been a secret. But now that you've got me thinking, like, I actually was a secret admirer once in high school. It all got started from this youth group I was in, and they're like, oh, choose someone in high school to commit random acts of kindness to. So I was like, okay. So
Okay.
I chose this like cute boy who didn't even know my name. He was young. He was a couple grades younger than me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think he knew I existed, but I knew him. And so I would like send him things, you could send student things, like you go to the front office and say, this is going to so and so, and then they'll bring it to so and so. So I would buy him like random things like pineapples. And
I like you. Here's a pineapple.
I was really into like full pineapples and like sending them, and I don't know why. That is so bizarre. But then like, yeah, I'd see him walking around the high school with his pineapple and like other bag of stuff, and people like, ooh, where'd you get this time? I think I did that maybe like every day for a week, and he never even knew it was me.
That's hilarious. That, first of all, that is so cute because like,
I don't know, is it cute? Is it creepy?
No, well, I guess it's different when you're a little bit younger. I don't know. I just feel like, I like you. I'm gonna give you a pineapple. Like that right there is just like so cute to me. I love it. I think it's different when we're younger. That's true. Because in school, it's like, I guess it's better. Like, for example, in my school, they had this like thing where when it's Valentine's Day, you can send a flower to someone for $1. Mm-hmm. And like, you don't have to put your name to it, or if you wanted to, you could. But there was always that whole like, are people going to send me a flower? Or people that send flowers to themselves. That shit was funny.
Oh, right. I never thought about that.
Yeah, and then there was a little thing going by where people were just like, well, I love myself. And then everyone was like, yeah, I love myself too. So everyone started sending flowers to themselves. Aww. So it kind of lost its like thing, but it was also kind of sweet now that I think about it. Yeah. But in high school, I was like very much like, you guys are losers. Just kidding. No, but yeah, secret admirer. Okay, cool. I didn't expect anyone to have an answer about them being a secret admirer.
I wasn't expecting that either.
Yeah,
that's reminded
so
me.
Sweet.
I was like,
nice. All right, so let's move on to our next segment, which is our light topic, guys. So it might get a little bit heated. Who knows? Topic number 1. Our topic this week is love confession. Basically, we are going to talk about what happens if one person confesses their love for you, but you don't feel the same way. Like, yeah, honestly, it can be taken 2 ways. It can be if you confess your love and they don't feel the same way, or if someone confesses their love for you and you don't feel the same way, right? Because we don't think about that sometimes, where some of these questions we are definitely, and it's definitely something that can happen to us. It hasn't happened to me. Just say, no, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding. It hasn't happened to me. I don't think I put myself in a situation where I'm willing to just open out, just be like, I love you. I'm kind of guarded like that. But it takes a lot of guts to tell someone that you love them without knowing if they even like you, Mm-hmm. So I commend people for doing that. But at the same time, I don't know. It's kind of like questionable if someone says that they love someone that they don't even know, like someone that they are, watching online or listen to online. Yep. Mm-hmm. Just say it. Luca, tell us a little bit about that. Luca has many. No, I'm just kidding. Go.
I mean, I just honestly, if you don't know me like personally, I can't take that stuff seriously. I mean, you can like my personality and love what you have already seen of me, but if we don't talk on like a personal level, then how can you say that you love me because you don't actually know me? Mm-hmm. Like I've had people like confess to me like, oh, like I really like you, I have a crush on you, stuff like that, and I'm like, okay, but then they're like, I want to be with you, and I'm like, no, you don't want to be with me. Like, first of all, I'm a hot mess, so no one wants to deal with that, like for real, like on the real to real basis. So I just can't take it seriously. Plus I get so many people, just a lot of my guy friends saying, oh, like like, oh, you're super hot, oh, I want to marry you, and like stuff like that. And I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever, right? Like, I just don't take it seriously because like I can't. I've had like close friends confess to me, but I've never had anyone confess to me who I didn't already like who I didn't like back. So
Really?
yeah,
That's lucky. That's good.
yeah, yeah, I know. But
Oh God,
yeah.
you always have to, you know. I don't like when you do that.
Yeah, okay. But yeah.
So I guess
I don't
when
know
they
what I
do
would
that,
say,
what
like-
happens? Do you say like, all right, so let's make it happen, like this is that kind of thing? Or
Well, I like to like figure out. I'm like, what exactly do you like about me? Like, I try to figure it out because it's like, suspect, you know. I just have a hard time believing anyone would actually like me, you know. But
aw, why? You're not like that bad.
I'm not that. Oh my god, Cameron, do you hear this? I don't know, rude. Yo, man, like.
I was gonna say no. I think you're a wonderful person. Why?
Nah, fam.
Oh my God.
No, I just
It's
have
one
a
of those
lot
things. Yeah, it's like that insecurity.
Yeah,
I feel the same way sometimes. I just feel like it's hard for me to think that people would actually want to be there for me, just because I've had like a lot of disappointment in life, and so that stuff kind of just like comes back to haunt you in a way, you know, where you just like don't let people in.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a little sad, but yeah. For me personally, people that I don't know that well online have confessed to me, and I'm just sort of like what do you say? Because I don't want to be mean to people that don't necessarily deserve it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not like that. Like if you curse me out, all right, you're getting cursed out back. Like that's not if I feel like it, because sometimes I just feel like I don't feel like doing it. But I'm not gonna be like, if someone's like, I love you, I'm not gonna be like, are you fucking stupid? You know, that's kind of mean. But at the same time, I don't know. I ask questions. I'm a very curious person, so I'm just like, how? You know, you don't know me. I'm just like, how? But like, how? I don't understand. And then that kind of didn't go so well either. So I guess there's no real, unless you just say I love you too, there's no real good way to go about it, because people get their feelings hurt.
I usually just say, oh, I appreciate that, but I don't feel the same way. I hope we can stay friends. You know, I friend zone them, even though like that's not actually a real concept. It's just something someone made up, right? But like that's what I typically do. I say I don't feel the same way. And then if they like continue being pushy and like trying it with me, because for some odd reason, men think that if you say no, you're not actually saying no, which I don't understand. I really don't get that. Like, I'm not being cute. I'm not being like, oh, no, like, you know, like I'm not saying woo me. I'm saying, no, I'm not interested. I'm not interested. No, I'm not. Stop. Stop it. I'm not interested. Right. And sometimes I have to get to a point where I'm like, you don't actually know me. You don't like me. Stop saying that, because it's not true.
Oh man, that is so true. Where men, when men or let's just not. I mean, people in general just don't take other people seriously, and it's kind of just like one of those things where if someone says no, it's no. It's that like don't, like there's no games here, you know. Like in this day and age where you hear all these stories, it's like just. I need everyone to kind of just write this down. Get a book, get a pen, write this down, and put on your paper, please, write, let's be real, okay? If everyone would just stop playing all these games and stop trying to figure everyone out and kind of just, you know, be open and honest, we wouldn't have a lot of the situations that we have where this miscommunication comes through, and it's just like, if someone says no to you, then it doesn't necessarily mean that they, you know, are trying to hurt your feelings. It could just be, you know, that they're just not interested, which is not, it's not the end of the world, right? Because as long as you said it early enough, I don't think you necessarily are going to like get that hurt, right? Because where the hurt comes in is when you're super invested. But I just don't understand that there's like that disconnect where if someone's online and you know you never met them, I don't see me personally falling in love with someone who I've never met.
No.
What do you think, Cameron?
Yeah, I just don't see how that can happen. But yeah, I actually, like, I've had like men in person kind of confess their love, but like online, I really haven't had that, which I'm like, maybe it's because I'm always talking about feminism. They're intimidated. I don't know. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. But yeah, I really don't get that. But I do get on Facebook, I get these like private messages from men who don't even send me a friend request. They just send me a private message and say, hey. And I'm like, we have no friends in common. You know, they live in another country. And they're just like, hey. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And then it happens a lot. And then I heard from other women that the same thing was happening to them.
Mm-hmm.
And I got the idea from some woman she's like, oh yeah, I just send them a link to my PayPal. And I'm like, oh my God, that's brilliant. That's what I'm going to do.
Wow. I've never even thought of something like that.
That sounds wonderful.
That's hilarious. Idea. Oh my God. Okay, your friend, I like her.
Yeah. I was like, that is brilliant.
That's so smart. Just be like, all right, well, might as well get something out of this creep status.
Yeah.
Okay, so question, has anything ever come through from her sending that?
No. Or for them, I don't know. For me, no. I mean, I did have one guy respond with a thumbs up. I thought that was pretty funny. I was like, okay. Like, he gets it, but like, no, he didn't send money.
That's so funny.
I know.
You actually sent it?
Yeah.
So, oh my God. All right. So the day that happens where someone actually sends money to you, please just let me know.
Oh yeah,
that would be
I don't know
freaking
if it will
hilarious.
Happen, but I will.
I know. Just like, it's so funny too because it happens to me. I have a page where I use to, you know, promote everything that I do. But people are just like, I get random messages and random friend requests all the time. And since it's not a page that's like personal, I just accept them all, like whatever. But like people just like will wave at you. You know how you can wave on the messenger? And then I don't know, I just wave back. And then I guess the wave back is supposed to be something to invite them or something. Because people just be like, hey. And I'm like, so I'm gonna probably stop waving back.
Yeah. No, you're right, because that's like an open invitation to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna stop being nice and just not wave back. It's just so weird because if someone waves at you, I don't know, my first inclination is to wave back in real life.
Yeah, of course.
But
nah, I definitely don't wave back. I look at them like they're crazy. Like,
yeah. Well, sometimes I do that too.
Well, when someone smiles at you, do you not smile back?
I mean,
depends on who it is.
Yeah.
I have a very good like automatic smile, so yeah, I'll smile back. But you know.
Okay. I mean, I do have like resting bitch face. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh yeah.
I live in the city. It kind of just like it's like my guard, like whatever. But when people are pleasant, it just I don't know. It feels nice. Mostly if I'm in the store and I'm paying for something and the person's like nice on the register and I'll like smile back and stuff. Most of the time that's not the case though. So yeah. But I probably won't smile at someone on the bus. I'm not gonna lie though.
Hashtag blue on the bus.
I always. But I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like I don't understand that, but I know it does happen, right? Where people kind of just like grow feelings from watching or listening to your content and things like that, or following you on social media. I mean,
I like a lot of people. Like there's a lot of cool people like around, right? But I cannot imagine like sending someone a DM saying I have a crush on you out of nowhere.
Yeah.
What?
Especially if it's a person that you have never met before. That might be very awkward.
so weird.
It
I mean,
is,
it's
weird.
like, I mean, it's fine. Like, I've gotten a couple of DMs where someone's like, "Oh, I have a crush on you," but like, it's just like, you as a person, like as a like YouTube personality, I like you. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. But it's just like, I personally would never do it. Like, I would never just go into someone who I've never spoken to before. It's like DMs and like, I love you. Like, no, that wouldn't happen.
Oh my God. I feel like, I guess, what about compliments? Do you accept compliments or enjoy compliments from people that you don't know?
Oh, I mean, I accept them.
Like, for example, if you change your profile picture, which Luca has done recently, and just like someone you've never met before, just like, hey, you looking good. What is that weird?
No, I'm just like, hey, thank you. As long as they
I guess
as long as they
I
don't
say
say
yes.
anything odd.
Yeah, I think I say like thank you too, but I don't know. I don't want like a conversation to come from it.
Yeah, because some people take that stuff too seriously. They do too much, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's kind of like Cyrus just said in the chat. Like, I'll be on Twitter like, hey, thanks for the follow, and the other person will be like, love me, Luca, and I'm like, I gotta go. Like, I guess, like,
yeah, because us saying thank you is not necessarily like I don't know, an invitation for you to be like, so how's it going? You know what I mean? Like, right. That's not a conversation starter for you to be like we're not at a club, dude. Like, I'm not here to look for someone to like, I kind of feel like people take it as that.
I mean, I don't really understand. I'm just like, oh, thank you, or I appreciate that, you're very kind, all that stuff, right? But then I'll be like, damn, girl, you look good. You can come into my life. And I'm like,
oh, man.
Ew.
I'm like, whose man is this? Ew. Like, and then I have like a couple, like a lot of my guy friends like joke around with me. Like Porter Rock was like, he did that, like he did the creepy laugh, and then the side eye. He's like, yeah, I can't wait to stalk you now. I was like, bruh, if you don't cut it out. So, I mean, it's fine. Like, I'm not like one of those girls who's like, how dare you compliment me? Like, I'm not like that. I'm just like, oh, thank you, that's very kind of you to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's important to remember that, guys and gals. If someone says thanks, it's just thanks, Like, say something different if you want to have a conversation, right? Especially if you see that the person's very responsive on particular platforms, then, don't be shy. I mean, I know it's hard because sometimes being in front of other people makes it, a little bit nerve-wracking, but don't be shy to just jump on in there and start a conversation that way, right? Like, for example, I have a Discord where I am open for everyone to just like talk to each other and have conversations and things like that. But that doesn't mean that you can just DM me and be like, hey, I wanted to talk to you and blah, 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 blah. It's like, dude, why won't you talk to me in front of everyone else? I don't understand. Like, that makes it just weird,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I kind of call everyone dude. So I'm not just talking about men here, guys. I'm talking about every kind of person. It happens, even if it's not like a love thing. It's kind of one of those things where you kind of have to, and I know it takes maybe like people skills to kind of figure it out, but you have to approach someone in a particular way so that it doesn't come across differently than how you mean it,
Mm-hmm.
Because people won't ask you, like, what do you mean? For the most part, they'll just assume something and then just like maybe not respond, or assume something and then just like respond, but in a way that's kind of just like, all right, I have to keep this person, at arm's length. Or there are people who don't even know what the hell they're doing, and they just kind of just jump in, and then later on they're like, oh, so I have this problem. Those people that kind of like lead people on but not realize that they're leading them on. I have a friend like that, and I'm like, you're too nice. And she's like, but you know, and I'm just like, no, just don't, you know, you need to stop.
Boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. Oh man, I don't know. Yeah. So have any of you heard a story of someone like being successful when they confess their love to another? Because I haven't.
I'm sure it. I'm sure it exists.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does.
Somewhere in the world, yeah. No.
I mean, of course, this is outside of like the dating websites, you know, because those obviously are that's a platform for that, right? But like Twitter and Instagram and all these places, they're not a platform for love.
No, I don't think so. I mean,
I know people find love on there, but
right.
Oh, actually, I heard about these two girls who met on Instagram or whatever, and they lived closer. They lived in the same state, like the same city and stuff, but they met through Instagram and hit it off. Like I heard about that.
Really? I wonder if it was that though, like if they just like one of them just decided to like slide in their DMs and be like, hey, I like you.
Yeah, that's what it was. They made a video about it. So yeah,
that's so cute.
That's cute. I
won't even lie. That is so cute. I guess it's one of those things where you have to take a chance, right? Yeah. But I'm sure that it was different for them because they probably were like following each other, right? And maybe like commenting on each other's things and sort of like being flirty, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, like it's different if it's just like a random person just like, I love you.
Yeah. I don't know how many success stories there are from that. But
oh my God.
I mean, I do believe in love at first sight, but that's like different from the online space. And like, so the reason why I believe in that is not like, oh, I see you, now we're going to be together forever. It's more like you can feel a connection right away with someone, right? But it might take a while for that connection to actually like turn into something, if at all, right? But I do believe in that, like, you can really feel something with someone right away.
I totally agree. Like, there have been people who I've met and I've just been like instantly like, this is special. This is gonna like be something, even if it's just a friendship. There are actual people that I'm actually friends with right now who I met them and it was immediately like, oh, this is something.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like, I guess I've never felt like that, but I have felt like a friendship kind of connection.
Yeah.
For example, with Luca, when we first met, it was just more of a, you know, Xbox Live parties. You kind of could just talk over voice chat, and we kind of were introduced that way, and we just sort of like hit it off right away. Like it was never.
She called someone out on bullshit, and I was immediately like, "Oh my God, she's amazing." I do something like I do that.
You are so. Yeah, Luca does that a lot. If you do something that's kind of like something that she does or that she likes, she's just like, "Oh my God, I need to know this person." You know?
That's
which is cool.
To me too.
Yeah, which is cool because like nowadays you rarely meet people who are, you know, a particular way. Like not everyone, but a lot of the people are just so full of shit that when you meet someone real or when you meet someone similar to you, you're just kind of like, "Oh my God, love me, please," but not the weird way.
But yeah, it's kind of like I met Blue through one of our mutual friends, right? Which is still really hilarious. But and we were just hanging out in like a party chat, and that's like an Xbox thing where we can just get together and talk to people, right? And then some dude was just like he was saying the R word or whatever. And I was sitting there like, am I gonna be the one who has to say something to this guy? Like, and then Blue was like, excuse me? What did you say? Yeah. And I was like, yes. And then ever since then, I've been like, man, okay.
Yeah, I remember that. That's so funny. Oh my God, that feels like forever ago, but I bet you it wasn't even that long ago.
That's your love story. That's your like first.
I know. That's so cool. Yeah, because that guy was getting on my nerves because he was just using it so like nonchalantly, and I was just like, "Hey, you think that's okay to use?" And he was just like, "What?" Like no one was saying anything.
You gotta call him out.
Yeah, man. Always calling people out. Yeah,
because so many people will just like let it slide because they don't want to get into it or.
And Luca calls people out all day, so I think she was probably like she was exhausted that night.
Yeah, I was. Listen, I'm always dragging idiots on Twitter. It's like my It's like my hobby. So
yeah.
But yeah, like meeting someone who's actually honest and open and be like, that's not okay. It's so rare for me that I'm just like, wow, okay. I like this. Because normally I'm the only one who says something and everyone's looking at me like I'm crazy. So
yeah. But usually you are, and I'm kidding.
Yeah, whatever
Oh
you
my
say, ma'am.
God.
Whatever you say.
That's so funny. Oh, I will remember that now that you reminded me. Remind me again in like another 6 months.
Oh my God.
So I think we said a lot for this particular subject. I do think, like, tips for everyone here if you want to know. Don't be creepy. There is a fine line between creepy and romantic, but practice maybe, or watch other people and maybe you'll learn the difference. Personally, I think that it's a lot better in person to meet people and to connect with them, just because you can like feel something a lot faster,
Mm-hmm.
Whereas online, I feel like it's kind of impersonal most times, so it's hard to, I guess, figure it out. And yeah, I mean, it's cool to be friends with people, that's not bad, but being friends with someone doesn't mean more, usually.
Mm-hmm.
And ain't nobody looking for nothing, okay, guys and gals? We are chill right now.
I'm good. Please don't DM me any nonsense, please.
We did not talk about this subject to get more DMs, people. We decided to talk about it to maybe lower the number in which we get.
Yeah, exactly.
Which will probably be the opposite now that I think about it. Great. Fuck. All right. Well, let's move on to our next segment, which I know it's a lot of you, your favorites. Let's do it. This is Girl, Let Me Tell You, where we get into our stories about, life and things and stuff, Luca, what's your Girl, Let Me Tell You this week?
What is my girl? Let me tell you. Hold on.
Not
I wrote it
prepare.
down.
No, I'm just kidding.
I wrote it down. Come on.
I'm so proud of you. Girl, you don't understand. I write things down all the time. Literally, if something happens, you see me with my phone like, oh man, I gotta write this down, and I'm like typing it away while it's happening. Yeah.
All right, so real quick, it's like a real quick one, right? I was getting my hair done yesterday, right? And I was sitting there like waiting for my beautician to finish up with her other customer. Some like skeevy guy walked in just carrying something. I don't know. I think he was like trying to solicit something or sell something. I wasn't paying attention because my sense of danger is non-existent, right?
Oh Lord.
And so he goes in there. He says a lot of like crazy stuff. He's like mumbling and stuff. And my beautician just lifts her shirt, and there's a gun there.
Oh.
And then he walks right the fuck out. And I'm like, first of all, you're doing my hair carrying a gun. Like, what the fuck?
Whoa.
That was my first concern. Second of all, I thought it was pretty funny. It's like she's a security guard. Like, she's a night shift security guard on, like, that she does that as her second job. So I wasn't surprised that she was carrying. I was just surprised that she was carrying while she was doing my fucking hair. And I'm over here like, I never knew she was carrying. This is like the first time I knew this. She's been doing my hair since I was 6. So I'm just like, wow, okay, well.
She's not even playing games. Wow.
She was not playing. She showed the gun. He walked right the fuck out, and she locked the door. And I was like, oh, okay.
I like her, but at the same time, it's like kind of scary.
Yeah.
I wonder if maybe he came in like a whole bunch of times and she was just like, you know what? I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to show you this.
I mean, yeah, what the fuck? And yeah, so like, I got one of my friends was like, damn, where were you in Chicago? I was like, yeah, I was, fam. That's where I was.
Oh, man.
Have either of you like lived in Texas or spent much time in Texas?
No, not really.
I was in Texas. I went to see my ex in Texas. All my exes live in Texas. That's
Anyway,
but
I get it.
But one of my exes lives in Texas, so I went to visit them one time.
Well, I was in Austin recently, and just for a few days, and I really haven't spent much time in Texas. So if anybody listening who lives in Texas, like what I noticed in Austin was there was a symbol on like, you know, on windows like of restaurants and businesses that was a no gun symbol, like don't bring your guns in here. And I'm curious, like, is that just an Austin thing because Austin's more liberal, or is that in all of Texas? I've never seen that before.
I have no idea. I have no idea. I literally went to go visit Texas once, and it was in Houston, and I didn't notice anything like that.
You know what I noticed in Houston, because I was there, is that there's a supermarket for guns. I was immediately like, I need to get out of here. I need to go back home. I need to go back home. This is too much for me.
It's so crazy how you get used to particular things, right? Because here, like in the city, you can't if you possess a firearm, it needs to be registered and it needs to be like locked up in your house or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Legally. But let's be honest, like we all know that these mofos walking around here, because I live in the hood, so I'm pretty sure that they all have, like, not all of them, but a lot of them have like pants guns in their pants. Pants. They do have pants, thank God. I don't want to see that shit. But that shit's scary. Not knowing if someone has it, and then like not knowing what will set someone off in order to use it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Well, my parents live in Florida, and if some driver's doing something, you know, terrible, I don't flip them off because I'm like, oh wait, this is an open carry state.
Oh, so you base your decisions off of like where you are. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I do.
Hey man, no shame in that. You have to be safe. Like no one wants to get shot. Just saying. Right. Yeah, I'm not, like, I don't know. After what happened in Florida with the situation that did with, you know, Trayvon Martin, I just, I don't know. I'm scared to go to Florida, guys.
Don't go to Florida. It's a weird state.
I know I have, like, people that live in Florida. I love you guys. But y'all gonna have to come up here to visit me, because I don't know about that shit. Unless you have one, too, and you're gonna protect me. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Sometimes you don't think about all these things, right? Because when I went to Texas, I went for a wedding. I wasn't thinking necessarily that, you know, they have, you know, that. And then I thought about it later down the line. I was like, wait, hey, people can carry guns here, huh? I was asking her, because I went with my boss, and she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh, like they sell guns like in Walmart and stuff? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, oh boy, okay. Take a deep breath. Gotta like, it's something you have to process, you know?
Yeah, it is. It is.
But
yeah, I'm in California, so you know, I think California has the strictest gun laws in the country.
Really?
I think so.
Oh boy. Yeah, I don't.
So you know, I'm not used to guns at all. I'm just like, whoa, okay.
Whew. All right. Well, that's a good girl. Let me tell you. Are you gonna go get your hair done again?
Yeah, in a couple weeks.
You're like, it's fine.
You're like, I'm definitely going back there.
At least you know that if something goes down, she'll probably protect you.
I mean, now it kind of makes sense that, because she's like, listen, I'm 24, but she's still like, do you want me to walk you to your car? I'm walking you to your car. I'm like, ma'am, I'm 24.
I love that, though. I love that.
That's so cute.
Oh,
aww.
yeah.
She's
but
like,
now I know that, now that I know that there's like some weirdos around, I'm like, all right, we good. We can do this.
Yeah. It's good to know. It's a good, like, if someone that you know has it and she legally can hold it, then, you know, it's cool, because like you're like, oh, all right, we could use that, right? Like it can be useful if something goes down. Good to know. All right. Girl, let me tell you. Like, okay, I know guys, that I always talk about bus stories.
Hashtag blue on the bus.
And streaming stories and train stories. I don't know. It's just my life. In New York City, that's where you spend a lot of your time, traveling to get to another place. So, I'm on the bus. This is a bus story, guys. Hashtag blue on the bus. So we're doing this. We're on the bus, relaxing, trying to get home, because it's always on the way home that people decide to be cuckoo for some reason. And the bus driver, I don't know if he was like in a good mood or if he was just like that type of bus driver that doesn't care and will like yell at people if he feels like it, whatever. So as soon as I get on the bus, he's already started. He's just like, yeah, hi guys, blah, 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 and just like talking to people as they walk in. Not me, because I kind of just, I swipe my Metro card and I just keep on walking. I'm not about that life. Like, I'm trying to get home. I had a long day. Don't fucking talk to me. Okay. So he's just like talking to people, and people are like, I think he mentioned something about what someone was wearing, and then she was like, oh, thank you, and like getting all happy, which was sweet to see. You know, it's good to see people getting their days made. And then so we're driving, because he's driving the bus now, and I guess he was beeping his horn at someone. He was just like beep 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 beep. I was like, what the fuck is going on? Because he just kept pushing it, just like beep 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 beep. And he eventually gets to the stop and opens the doors, and people get on, and they're just like, why are you beeping at me like that? And he's just like, so you want to get smacked in the head with the bus mirror? He starts yelling at them, and then they're just like, no, but you don't have to beep like that, like you know, blah 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 blah, just like arguing with him, which I don't understand. Like, how else is he supposed to let you know that you're in danger to move out of the way, like if he's in the bus? I don't. And then he's just like, well, if you want to get smacked with the mirror, let me know, because, you know, it can happen, you know, you'll get very hurt or something like that. And he's just like arguing with them. And it's a woman, and she's walking to the back of the bus. So she gets to the back of the bus, and she's still talking. I couldn't understand what she was saying. And he goes, over the intercom, he goes, oh, I hear you still talking. You're still going, huh? So you wanted to get smacked by the bus mirror, huh? That's what you wanted to happen. He on the intercom. And people are looking around laughing, and they're just like, what's happening? Like, the bus driver was not playing games. He was just done. He was just like yelling at her, and she was like yelling back, and she was like, oh, I don't know who you think you are, you fucking asshole, blah blah blah, blah. And then he's just like, oh, well, you must have had a bad day. He was just like, oh, you know, I don't understand why people think that they could stand in the way and get smacked by a bus. You know, that's going to hurt, and blah, 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 blah. I don't know. He just kept repeating himself. They both were, I don't know. They just wouldn't shut up. And I'm sitting there laughing. I'm just like, what? Is this for real? And then he was just like, you got something more to say, over the intercom. And then everyone's just like looking at her. You know, you do like looking back and forth, just like looking this way, looking that way. Look at the bus driver, look at the lady when they answer. And then, yeah, I don't know. That lady was definitely in the wrong, but there's some people who can't take responsibility for like the actions that they, you know. And she was just like, and then he, you know, she stops talking, and then he stops talking, and then we go on our way, and he just keeps on. More people get on the bus, and he's just like, hey, how are you? Some lady gets on with a baby, and the baby was asleep, and the baby was pretty big, and she was like holding him in her arms, and he was just like, wow, you got some strong arms there, don't you? And she's like laughing, and she's like, yeah. But it's so cute because she came in with like a, you know, angry face, and she was like tired, obviously, and like he just made her laugh. So I thought it was sweet, except for when he got on the intercom and started like talking to the lady, and the lady was cursing him out. That part was kind of uncomfortable. But
right.
Bus drivers, you know, are cursing. Well, he didn't curse, so I'll give him that. But bus drivers are making, you know, people feel like fools nowadays. So
yeah,
don't mess with the bus drivers, guys. I will tell you right now. No. They will let you know over the intercom and embarrass your ass. You don't want that. So that's my girl, let me tell you. I like how everyone in chat is saying #blue on the bus. Oh my gosh. All right, what about you? What's your funny. Girl, let me tell you, for this week?
I almost got struck by lightning when I was in Florida recently. Oh, I know. I was there for Hurricane Irma, and then I almost got struck by lightning. I was like, I need to get the hell out of Florida. But
oh my God.
Like, what the
Yo, Florida doesn't do you well, huh? You're just like
right? It's like, okay, this state I think is worse than Texas, but no offense to anybody that lives in either one of those states. But
they had it bad lately. Yeah.
I was inside too, sitting on the couch watching TV. And
What the hell?
right, you don't think you can get almost or even struck by lightning inside, but I was in the lanai in Florida. That a lot of houses have lanais. Do you know what the lanai is?
Yeah.
Okay. So I was in the lanai with my mom. She's on the chair. I'm on the couch just watching TV. And it wasn't even storming. It started to rain a little bit. And we just hear this like big, loud boom. It sounded like a gun was going off in my ear. And it was like so loud. Like I actually did worry for my hearing. And then I saw this like big ball of red next to my cheek, like red, not white, you know. And I thought, well, yeah, am I crazy? Like, did I really see that right? And then it turned, well, so apparently a friend later looked it up and said that if you see red or orange, that means lightning struck like 10 feet away from you.
Oh, wow.
Like even on the ground or whatever. And like it did knock our like lamppost. This is like a plastic lamppost that we have outside the lanai. That knocked that down, cracked that, and the power went out. And like there was this whole thing. And so I was scared. Like my heart was racing, you know, because I felt like I had escaped death. And like I ran into the main part of the house. And my mom was just like totally like, whatever.
It happens all the time.
Yeah, she was like, I've seen big balls of lightning right in front of my face. It's not my time.
Oh
like,
my God.
What? And my dad, though, he had come in he was outside in the front of the house. He had come in. We both looked at each other like, what the fuck was that? And we were scared. We were like, we hugged each other. Like we genuinely felt like we kind of escaped death. And my mom's like, yeah, whatever, you guys. Like, big deal. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I would freak the fuck out.
I know. It never happened to me ever before.
Your mom is just so chill too. She's just like, yeah, whatever. No big deal.
She is not afraid.
I would have been like, Mom! My mom hates it.
That's what I did. Actually, I yelled at her to get into the other house, and she's like, oh, okay, I'll follow your lead, you know. But it was just like, she was not scared at all. She was just like, can I go back to the other room and read my book again? Like, you okay? I'm like, oh. Okay.
Yeah. I would have. Yeah. That's scary. What the hell?
I know.
Well, I'm glad you're alive.
Thank you. Me too.
I mean, I would have been concerned about my life.
Glad you're alive.
Yes. What the heck?
Yes.
Listen,
Never experienced anything like that.
I'm not. I probably would not want to visit Florida. I'm just saying.
Yeah, now I'm like really turning people off from that state now, aren't I? Like,
sorry. I know Foxy we have a mutual friend that lives in Florida, and she's just like, what, guys? What?
Yeah, we have a lot of friends that live in Florida. I'm actually going to go there next year and see some of them. So.
Good luck.
Yeah, I have several friends that live there too. Just don't come in the summer when it's like hurricane season and like
yeah, it sucks though. I really do feel bad for like what's going down over there and all those areas that like are prone to hurricanes. Like New York City doesn't really get hurricanes. We had that like one recently and it was bad, but we didn't have, you know, one for a while. So I'm good here. Oh man. Yeah, no. Never seen lightning strike near me before, so definitely don't want that. Oh, your mom though.
My lightning repellent.
I'm just thinking about how your mom must have been just like, all right, well, I guess, like, you know, like just like, oh, lightning, all right, no problem. Like just like what?
Yeah, that's how she is. Like totally just.
Oh
whatever.
my God, I love meeting people that are the opposite of me because I'm so just like, you know. And people who are super chill, they kind of balance me out, and so I'm kind of like, all right, no problem, because they calm me, you know, a little bit. Yeah. And so I'm always like interested in hearing like the complete opposite of how someone reacted, like when I would have been the opposite of her, you know.
Yeah.
it's just so funny.
It's funny, yeah. She just is like, if it's my time, it's my time.
Oh my God. And I'm so more just like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not dying today. Like, we are leaving right now. Let's go, Mom.
Me too. That's what I yelled at her. I was like, get in here.
Oh my God. Yes. All right. That was a good one. All right. Let's move on to our next segment, which is our serious topic, guys. Topic number 2 coming at you. This is wow, that was so corny. We will be talking about another side of white privilege. Like, I know, guys, last week we spoke about it, and I think that the chat did really well with not getting too crazy, too upset. Yeah, you did a good job, everyone. So I just hope that we can do the same this week. And of course, everyone has a different opinion. Everyone feels differently. And this show is about people having a platform and feeling the way they do, which is fine. But we do not accept people who want to troll, So if you do start doing that, your ass is going to get banned. Just letting you know. If you feel like this topic is a little bit too much, definitely feel free to walk away, come back later. We're not going to argue in chat. There's a healthy and, professional way to have discussions like these. And, I recommend that so that there's no issues. There's a lot more people here this week, and we appreciate you and we love you. So let's get into it. Last week, we did have someone on the show who was a person of color. But this week, we do have Cameron on the show, who is white. Is that fine to say?
Yeah.
I know people do prefer, Caucasian, things like that. But yeah, so we wanted to get a different perspective on these things because it's easy to talk. I mean, it's not easy to talk about. A lot of people don't want to talk about these things. But it's different when you are the person going through something and you feel sort of like anger about it, right? And you if you're a person of color who has been subjected to racism, you feel a particular way about white privilege. And so last week we kind of aired out a lot of things. We sort of went on a little bit of a rant, I would say, when it comes to particular situations, which is fine. It's good to let it all out. I mean, at least I feel like that. Mm-hmm. So let's get into it. White privilege when people of color are dealing with issues socially and politically. And what I mean by this is that when, for example, there is a shooting of a person of color, or when there's a case going on, or, anything in particular that has to do with that, how do you necessarily handle those things? So how do you handle it, and what are your feelings when these things are being discussed in the news or with your friends and things like that?
I'm a little bit in a bubble where most of my friends are pretty aware of white privilege and white supremacy. So when things like that happen, when another Black person is killed by police or whatever, it's very sad. It's another opportunity to talk about whiteness and to talk about white supremacy, white privilege. So that's the bubble that I'm already in. It's.
Did you make it that way? Do you feel like you've sort of...
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah? Okay, good. Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like I eliminate people who feel a particular way from my life just because it's kind of exhausting. I mean, it's good to have debates, and it's not always good to be surrounded by like-minded people, but at the same time, it's exhausting having to constantly argue your points,
Well, so that's the thing. I was like, I actually, like on Facebook, for example, I have no friends that voted for Trump. Like, I just don't, I'm not friends with anybody that did. And I don't want to see that shit on my timeline. And I just don't know people like that, except for like, people in my parents' community in Florida. But sorry, not
Florida.
She's like, Florida sucks. Just letting you guys know again.
I actually went to college there. It was a great experience. But anyway, no, and so, but what I find, so like one time I asked myself, well, is that bad? Maybe I should be more friends with like conservatives or people that have, so that like, because if I'm just preaching to the choir all the time, like how good is that? But then it's like, I'm not just preaching to the choir all the time, you know. So there's so many liberals and progressive white folks that don't recognize white privilege or don't really know the full extent of that and need that education, right?
There are people who are ignorant of it, but there are also people who don't believe it. Like they know about it and they honestly feel that it's not a thing.
Right.
Yeah. So what made you realize that you had white privilege specifically?
It's a good question. I mean, it wasn't like one moment, but just kind of a progression of becoming more educated and aware of that. I mean, you know, I studied feminism and was reading from a lot of Black feminists in particular. And so through that, learned more and more about having white privilege and just hearing from people of color too, hearing their own experiences and how they experience the world differently than I do, right? And that's true, like just kind of then starting to notice in my everyday life how that shows up. So if I do get pulled over by the cop, like I am scared because I'm a woman and because I don't like authority, I don't like cops. But on the other hand, on the other hand, like I know my whiteness is saving me from a lot of things. You know, I know that I didn't just get pulled over because I'm white, right? Like, so there are these really distinct, significant differences, and that's where I can, you know, that's where I acknowledge it.
Right. I think it's important, and I think it's great that you know, say specific, or that we talk about specific things like that, right? Where you, as a white person, know that if you were pulled over, I mean, as a woman, there's also that aspect where that can be played into, but you know, you weren't pulled over because you were like your race, right? That for sure you can say. And I feel like people oftentimes don't think about the specific cases where they, you know, because they think, oh, I was born into a family that wasn't rich, or I, you know, grew up and worked hard for everything I had. But what I feel is that we're not necessarily saying that you didn't work hard. We're not saying that you didn't work hard for everything that you have, or that you you know, had money, because that's a whole nother privilege entirely. What we're saying is that in these specific situations, you know that it is not the color of your skin that got you into these situations, you know?
Right.
And I feel like they can't put themselves into, they can't look at it subjectively. It's too personal for them. And they make it seem like it's an attack, right? And I'm talking about the people who don't agree with the idea of, you know, white privilege. I had a discussion recently with someone who basically said that it's bullshit. And I'm the type of person that I have enough patience to talk to someone and just be like, okay, but why, right? Until they start spewing some bullshit, and I'm just like, all right, I think we're done here. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Because I feel like, what? You know, when people just start repeating themselves and they're just like, well, you know, this is not true because of this, this, and this. And I'm just like, okay, but what about this? But then they completely ignore my point, and they just keep going. You know what I mean? I feel like that's not very productive. And so at that point, I'm just like, okay, thank you for chatting. Goodbye. And then at the same time, I do have only so much patience if I feel like the conversation's getting a bit ridiculous, I'm not gonna keep going. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, like, all right, I'm done, because I know I don't want it to get to a point where I'm gonna argue with someone about it. Again, everyone has different opinions, and I'm not there to educate people about these things, and I'm not there to be like fight with them about it, you know. I know that there are people who are out there doing that, and I feel as though that's great, that's awesome if it works for you, but I personally think that I only am able to do it when I can mentally handle it, because it's a lot when someone tells you you know, what you are saying is stupid, or what you are saying is just like an excuse. The person that I spoke to said that that people of color are coddled because because of the affirmative action.
Oh no. Oh
yeah.
no.
I was like, are you stupid?
Exactly.
That would have been the first thing that okay. Are you dumb?
So
you're stupid, right?
When people say things like that,
this is why you can't fucking argue with these fucking people, because they're idiots. They're willfully ignorant. People who are willfully ignorant disgust me. If you're not willing to become educated about this, get the fuck away from me and don't talk to me about stuff you don't understand. But like, like, how can you just go through life saying stupid things? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me, you know? Like, oh, people of color are coddled. Like, shut the fuck up. Racism is still a thing. Slavery existed. We couldn't even fucking vote 60, 70 years ago. What are you talking about, fam? Yeah. Like, my great-grandmother's still fucking alive. Like, she lived through that time. So it's like, bruh.
Yeah.
The people of color are coddled. You must have me fucked up.
That's what I'm saying. So talking to people like this, it's exhausting, right? Because you feel these feelings, and you're just basically like, what the fuck? So you're basically telling me that white privilege doesn't exist because you worked hard for what you got, but you're telling me, at the same time, you're telling me that I'm coddled as a person of color because of affirmative action. So you see what I mean there, right? They don't realize, like, I get angry because you said this about me, but then you go and say something like that. So I just, I take a deep breath, and I was like, why do you feel like this? Do you not feel like racism, made it so that people in power the people in power are white people? Like, do you not feel like that's a thing, And she was just like, just arguing with me and basically telling me that everything I'm saying, like, yes, it happened, but that there are a lot of people of color that have positions of power now, and that
yeah, because Obama was president, right?
And, my God. And then she said, and I'm not trying to single this person out, and for sure I would be willing to have them on the show.
Single her out. I don't want her on the show. I don't want any fucking ignorant people on this goddamn show. All right? I don't got time to argue with stupid people. All right?
If it's something that can be discussed in a
nah, fam. Nope. Like, it's not my job to fucking educate white people. Like, it really is.
No, it's not. No.
It's just so like, for me, I personally, I think it's my curiosity that makes it this way. But I personally am the type of person that I would ask people, like, why do you feel like this, before I get like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because I want to see the points that are being made, so that
you know what? There's no rhyme or reason to it. They're just fucking stupid. It's like, they're just stupid. They're just dumb. Like, it's like, I have a really, really low tolerance for stupid people in general. But when I hear statements like that, I'm like, okay, you're an idiot. Like, and I just dismiss you. And I'm done with you. I don't need to fucking understand why you fucking think that affirmative action is just in play, and then that people of color are like, fucking white privilege doesn't exist. I don't need to hear that from you, because that just shows me that you don't know anything outside of your little bubble that is your life. And you're just like, you know what? I don't care about anyone else's feelings. I don't acknowledge anyone else's feelings because it's not real to me. It doesn't exist in my life, so it can't be real because I can't acknowledge it. I don't see it. I don't perceive it as an actual thing, therefore it does not exist. And so many people live under that mindset, and I'm just like, I don't have time for this. I don't care to know why you feel this way, because your feelings are wrong. They're just wrong.
another thing that she said was that we people of color should take note from the successful people of color, because obviously there's something that can be done in order to get to that position. Right?
All right, send me her information. I'm a killer.
So these are the kinds of things that are being said, and I'm just like, what?
Like, honestly, sometimes there's just like no reasoning with these kinds of people. They just choose to be stupid, and I really don't have time for it.
White supremacy is a bitch. I mean,
I just feel like, how can you tell me that? Well, I understand that the term itself might be like, or maybe you've discussed it with people that made you feel a particular kind of way and they attacked you about it or something. I don't know. That's fine. You know, you're allowed to have feelings. But I just feel like, how can you deny that this exists when we see stories in the news all the time, and like white people are getting off for killing people of color? Like, I just feel like when people are starting to die, there should be a discussion and there should be a name for it, right?
I mean, like, explain to me how a person of color, like a kid like Tamir Rice, can get shot just for nothing, for being black, right? And everyone's like, well, he's a little thug, he's a little gangster, he shouldn't have been resisting police, he probably deserved it. But this one guy could come in, kill 56 fucking people, or more, or less. And everyone's like, well, you know, these are his hobbies, you know, like Shooter in Vegas. There was no signs that he was going to do this other than the fact that he bought 36 guns. No big deal, right? Like, oh, these are his hobbies. He liked country music. He did that. I'm like, what? I've heard people say, oh, we shouldn't judge this guy because we don't actually know them. Like, someone literally said that.
God.
And I'm like, him killing a bunch of people doesn't give you the right to judge him? What?
Wow.
Like, bruh, you must got me fucked up.
Yeah, it's like I hear people of color saying all the time, whiteness is a hell of a drug, right?
But, bruh, like...
It's, okay, so that's the thing, right? Where we oftentimes have to look at what's happening before we start defending ourselves and just, like, try to understand a little bit more, right? Because... here's what I want everyone to hear. White privilege and the existence of it and you being white is not an attack on you. It's just something that is a phenomenon that needs to be acknowledged. That is all. If you feel as though you don't benefit from white privilege, then you may need to sit down and think about the specific situations that you may hear about. And think, hey, if it were me in this situation, would the same thing have happened compared to, you know, this black man or woman or, you know, other person of color? Like, those are the kinds of things that will lead you to better understanding, right? Because if you get defensive about it, you're not going to be, you know, open to discussion, and you're not going to be able to put yourself in that situation because you're so busy trying to fight for, you know, yourself and, you know, what you worked for, that you're not realizing that no one's telling you didn't work hard, bruh. You know, just saying. Like, I didn't say that. All I'm saying is that this is a thing that happens, and there's always exceptions to a rule, right? Let's remember that. And there's always different intersections when it comes to, you know, people and their identities. Just think about it. God damn, that's all we ask you to do.
Yeah, exactly.
So I guess that kind of answers like what, you know, white people perceive, where there's this other side of it where they're just like, well, that's not true. I'm not you know, I don't benefit from white privilege, blah, blah, blah. Like things like that. And then of course there are other people like Cameron who are completely aware, and oftentimes I feel as though that the people who are aware of white privilege, and let me know if you agree or disagree, but I've been noticing that a lot of white people that I know take the time to sort of share these stories and make it known, you know, that it's a thing on like social media or, you know, with discussions with their friends and things like that. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I like to educate, and I do feel like it's my role as a white person to educate about these things. Just like, you know, I think men need to be educating about sexism and patriarchy, right? And stuff. So it's like, yeah, and I do notice like my white friends who are more aware of white privilege are taking the time to share these stories and to really like, you know, point out these moments of white privilege that white people don't, they're not really aware of.
Yeah. Um, and I know you said that in your bubble, there's a lot of people that are, you know, aware and that you're friends with. But when you like, when you go to Florida,
Yeah.
I'm just kidding, Foxy.
But it's not even in Florida, right? Like it's online
I know.
too. Like
yeah,
I
of course.
see.
I'm just kidding. It's just
Yeah,
like when
yeah,
you
no,
meet.
no, no.
Unsubscribe.
Well,
She's blocked
actually-
you, so
So, I mean, I guess one thing I want to say too is like,
Mhm.
I'm not the white person that's like, oh, I'm above all this. I'm completely not racist. It's like, no, this is the system we live in. Like, I have racism in me, just like, you know. So that's like one thing that I really want white people to get and that I try to educate about is because I think white people are so quick to say, no, I'm not racist. And that's like, they're so defensive about being called racist, more defensive about that than they are about actually not being racist, right? Not confronting their own racism. So I try to educate on that. And that's one thing recently in Florida that my parents' neighbor, who he is one of the very few people that did not vote for Trump in that neighborhood. And we were talking, and he was talking about how all of his friends are Trump supporters. And I was asking him, like, oh, well, that must be hard to like only have friends that are Trump supporters when you're not, you know? And he was like, yeah, and they're all racist and all this and that. And I was like agreeing with him, like, yeah, they are. And, you know, we also have some racism in us. And he just like could not even hear that. Like, it was like I was saying something from Mars, you know, like he just could not even, it was just like, huh, what? And like he completely changed the subject and was just like, so there's that.
Yeah. So when you meet people that are not aware, right? Do you spend time trying to sort of talk to them about it and sort of like, I guess, because like, okay, for me specifically, sometimes I'm just like so exhausted from trying that I kind of just say, you know what, dude, like, fuck you. Like, I'm not in the mood. And I just shake my head and keep it moving, you know? And then there are some times where if it's someone that I've maybe spoken to and didn't know, and then they decide to say some racist shit, and I'm like, hey, we should talk about this, you know? Because I kind of know them, right?
Right.
Especially online where I've been meeting a lot of people, if they're in my community, things like that. But do you feel like you feel like you have to do you feel obligated to talk to people about it?
I do, but not in a bad way. I mean, just like I want to. But I definitely invest more time and energy into people that I know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's moments where it just, you know, it's not going to go anywhere. You know, they're never going to hear you. And those times I don't put as much time and energy because it just feels like wasted time and energy. But yeah, people they have to have some willingness to learn, some willingness to listen. And with those folks, I can, you know, that's where I can go in more.
Yeah, that's true. Because if people aren't willing to talk about it and learn from it, then it's just like, it becomes like it's just like you're beating a dead horse sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how helpful that is sometimes. I mean, I don't have all the answers, so I don't know.
Well, of course, yeah. It's good to know, though, that we're not the only ones that get exhausted. Well, I'm not the only one that gets exhausted from it, you know?
No.
I mean, oftentimes about these topics, I speak to other people of color just because it comes up. where I'm just like, I had to talk to this person about this, and they were just like mostly with Luca, and she's just like, yeah, I don't even bother sometimes because it's so fucking annoying, and I'm like, yeah, you're right, but I don't.
It's a waste of time.
It's
really a waste of time because it's like, sorry to interrupt, but Google exists.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, if you really, like, I keep saying this, but if you actually care and you want to get educated, you can do it. Like, so many times I've had people just come to me like, well, why don't you explain this to me? Explain, Luca. Like, oh, like, actually, what about this, Luca? And I'm like, yeah, I know you're only coming here because you want to argue your point. You don't actually give a fuck about what I have to say. Because if you did, you would look that shit up yourself. And I'm like, I'm not arguing with you about this. Like, if you choose, like, I'm like, you're an idiot, so you can go be an idiot somewhere else. And then they get so butthurt. And I'm like, bye. See you later. I don't got time for that. Like, I, like, commend you for wanting to educate people, Blue. Really, I do. But people are fucking trash. They suck. And there's really not much you can do for them. Because it's like, if you want to continue living your life being ignorant, go ahead, have fun. I'm not going to stop you. Because there's really no point in reasoning with those kinds of people. It's like the one person in a blue moon who actually gets it and understands where you're coming from compared to the 99 other people who are just on some fuck shit. I mean, that percentage is just not worth it for me. It really isn't.
Yeah. It's one of those things too where it's like, I mean, people tell me this, and I know in my head where I'm just like, ugh, it might not be worth it, but a lot of the times I'm kind of just like baffled by the bullshit that I see, and I get so kind of like overwhelmed by this feeling of just like, what the fuck, like, this can't be real, right? So then I just start a conversation, and then it's just like, yeah, that was a bad idea. I just feel like, I don't know. I guess I'm a logical thinker. So when I think logically, hey, this isn't being discussed. Okay, you don't go through it. You don't know anyone that goes through it. So most likely you don't need to think about it, right? Another aspect of white privilege, where if you're white, if you live in a particular place where you don't see anything happening, or you don't know anyone that is going through this or letting you know about it, then you're just like, whatever, you don't have to think about it. But it's been in the news, basically, not specifically being labeled as white privilege, but just like people of color being killed and all these things, right? And it's being discussed on social media. So I feel like you cannot be that blind to that, to not even like hear it once, right? And then be able to say like, hey, what does this mean? And then like look it up, And I feel like, for the simple fact that we have social media and things are being information is being shared so easily nowadays, if you don't take the time, like Luca said, then you're basically just, and I know people don't like to be called racist, but I mean, come on, like, if you're not gonna inform yourself and you're going to be saying things like this, then yeah, dude, like, you're racist. I kind of feel I don't know, I just feel like logically for me it just makes no sense to me, and I feel like when there's like something that doesn't make any sense to me, I kind of want to, like, I need to know. But then when I know, I'm just like, oh wait, I was right in my assumption in the first place. And then after that happening many times over and over, it's kind of just like, obviously this person's probably just racist. There's no point in, you know what I mean? Like, I want to know if it's something opposite than that.
Listen, like, there's no rhyme and reason for that kind of prejudice. It's just mindless hate, and it's mindless fear, and there's no explanation for it. They're just fucking ignorant. And there's like, you can ask people for alternate theories and what they have to say and explanations, but it always stems from the same stupidity. Like, they're just dumb. They're just dumb. Like, they're dumb, and it sucks for them. But it's like, I don't have time to waste on idiots. I really don't. And not only are they just idiotic, they're just like, yeah, let me just attack this person who is going through all this shit just because it's I feel like this is a personal attack on me because they're calling me racist, and there's no way that I'm racist. Like, people are so quick to just be like, you know what? Let me just attack this person who is talking about the racism, then actually get upset at the actual act of racism. Kind of like how that one girl who posted that letter on social media about how some idiot sent her coworker some racist letter or whatever.
You saw
and
that
everyone's
too,
upset at her. Everyone's digging into her background. They're like, oh, she likes to drink, she likes to party. Can't believe her. Fucking liberal trash. Fucking social justice warrior. It's just dumb shit. And I'm like, okay, but this is like a blatant display of racism. And y'all are gonna like just ignore it? You're like, no. We're more upset at the person who's bringing this up than the actual act, because no one wants to fucking acknowledge that racism is still a thing. It still exists. No one wants to talk about it though, because everyone wants everyone just wants to pretend like it's not happening. Like we've moved so far past it when we clearly haven't.
Yeah. So that, I guess that's my thing, where I'm just like, I want to be able to, I guess, maybe spread some information. Like, okay, in both of your experiences, have you ever spoken to someone about a specific topic that has to do with maybe one of these topics, and sort of maybe change their mind about it? Someone who was ignorant.
Oh.
Sure, I've talked to some people of color who have been like, well, it's not a big deal that someone said the N-word, and it's not a big deal that someone is prejudiced about something because it doesn't bother me. And I'm like, cool. Yeah, everyone's not like you, though. Not everyone's you. Not everyone has had your same experiences. You can't act like this isn't a thing just because you don't care about it. It still exists. You know, I don't care that people have used the N-word with me and have called me that. Like, I don't care. I don't feel anything about that. But, like, I'm not going to dismiss someone else who's like, oh, this really upset me, or I'm hurt by this. Like, I'm not going to be like, well, I don't care, so why should you? What? What is that? That doesn't make any sense. Like, we're all different. You know, we're all different. We're not the same people. You can't just be like, well, this doesn't bother me, so it shouldn't bother you. That's like a really closed-minded way of thinking things, because you're putting your experiences on other people and assuming they have the same experiences that like you, when they really don't. And no one has the same experience, you know? No one has the same exact experience. There's always different degrees and different levels. So I've talked to people of color who have said ignorant statements like that. I'm like, yeah, that's you. But other people of color don't feel that way. You need to have a little bit more compassion, because just because you don't care doesn't mean that they shouldn't care, because that's you. Those are your feelings. These are your experiences, but that's not them. You can't just assume everyone's going to feel the same way as you, because that's not how life works.
Yeah. I think I've definitely had moments and discussions with white folks that were saying, you know, ignorant things, and was able to kind of like challenge them on that, or, ask them questions, and then, or kind of like give them another perspective, and they're like, oh yeah, okay, right. But I find that the greatest change has come from like leading by example, and like having a consistent kind of relationship with someone like my mom, for example, who I talk to a lot. She's my best friend, and she just really isn't aware of a lot of this stuff. And I don't educate her like, okay, let me give you a racism 101 thing, you know, but I educate her through like my rants about what I see in the world, about, you know, what my experiences, experience that a friend of color had, that I'm like, I will tell her these things. And so it's sort of like a more indirect way of educating. But over time, I've seen her become more aware and really like oh, okay, like some pieces are starting to, click together for her, and she's like more, she's become more of a feminist. She's more aware of how racism shows up, and she's not really so familiar with these terms like white privilege. She wouldn't be familiar with that term. But she's not even familiar with the term patriarchy, or like things like that. So it's like, okay, I really have to but if I talk about everyday experiences, she understands that. And she does have a lot of compassion and empathy. So she's like, oh yeah, well, that's not right, and well, that's, not okay. And well, yeah. And then, she's starting to see more and more. And then, so that I think, can be really impactful, is like, I don't know what to call it, but just sort of like, yeah, I call it sort of leading by example, or like letting your actions speak a little bit louder with your friends and the people you have relationships with. And yeah, hopefully over time.
Yeah, I think it's important to have conversations about it so that people can sort of be educated, I guess, but also at the same time so that everyone feels like they can talk about it. Because while some people have very outlandish I don't know, they say outlandish things, I guess it's still, for me, it's still important to try. And then if you see there's no point, then I guess there's no point.
Yeah.
But
right.
I do feel that when it comes to like family or friends that you're close to, I don't know, I feel like there's like more importance put on it because of that. Because like, who wants to say they have a racist cousin?
Yeah.
Right? Like, who
or
wants
a
to say
racist
that?
dad,
Yeah, it's like no one really wants that in the first place. And at the same time, it's like, of course, when the times change, then there's like, I mean, of course, there's no excuse for ignorism. There's there's ways to find information. Fine. There's books. There's, people you can talk to, whatever. But at the same time, these topics are being spoken about more now than they were before, like however many years ago.
Are. Yeah.
Like they were just ignored before, right? So if there is someone who is older in your life, you're not going to necessarily come at them like, are you fucking stupid?
Yeah.
Because at the same, it's like we are a product of like our time. But at the same time, you'll be like, have you really never heard of this? You know what I mean? Like it's kind of like something that you might ask, right? Yeah, I know that there are some lost causes out there that you're just kind of like, yeah, this person's not gonna, like the person that I had a conversation with, probably not gonna change their mind, whatever. Because a lot of these things are sort of, they're not tangible, right? They're not something that you can like hold. And a lot of the times, if you're not a person of color and you haven't experienced it, it can be hard to wrap your mind around particular things, right? If you haven't seen it happen, if you haven't done some research on it, things like that. And if you live in a bubble where you live like, downtown, down south, let's say, around a bunch of people like you, and they all feel the same way you do. And anytime you talk, they're just like, yeah, you're right? Like, it's like, when are you ever gonna like, at least, if you're not challenged, then you don't grow. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so I feel like I personally do accept challenges, just because I feel like it's good to sort of, I don't know, keep yourself aware. It's good to know. I mean, I'm not enemies with these people, like whatever, but it's good to know like your enemy's tactics, let's just say, for lack of a better like, phrase, where it's good to know the arguments that are being made, because I feel like I can have more insight as to what is going on and what's being perceived, and I feel like I learn more when I know the opposite argument.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
The same idea with kind of just like, you know, why are you laughing?
You know I'm fucking laughing.
Stop it. Stop laughing. Chat
I
is
just
getting
want
a
to
little
point out.
crazy right now.
I just want to point out. There's no use arguing with ignorant people, guys. There's no use because they're not gonna listen. All right. I just want to say that real quick. All right. Just letting you know. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your breath. It's okay to call people out for stuff, but if it's clear that they don't have any idea what they're talking about, you might as well just live and let it go, because it's like there's no point in. It's like the same for homophobia. Same goes for racism. There's no use arguing with ignorant people. There's really not.
That's a good point. Yeah. Well, yeah, when it comes, we won't get into that.
We oftentimes run into, and to be honest, I don't know how, because our show is obviously like we feel a particular way here, so I don't know how some people find our show and kind of like still listen. But we kind of find interesting people sometimes, and so chat is going, crazy. If you guys are interested in joining the conversations that we have in chat, then definitely come and swing by at 2 p.m. Eastern on Sundays, and you will see the nonsense that we read while we're talking, and then you'll be like, hey, how do these ladies do it? I think we mentioned a lot of what we wanted to talk about. Is there anything else that you wanted to say, Cameron, about this topic, or Luca?
I know there's so much could say, but
it's definitely these are big topics, and they're definitely ones that require a lot of time and require a lot of research and require just a lot of different voices.
I guess there is one thing, like I think it's also another theme that white folks are having a hard time noticing where white privilege shows up and stuff, is just kind of paying attention to your work, the spaces that you operate in. Look at politics, look at the media, look at school. Like, who are the people in positions of power? Like, are they mostly white? Are they mostly people of color? And having one or two people of color and like 50 white people, that doesn't make it okay, right? Like, that doesn't mean people of color have quote unquote made it, right? So like noticing the racial disparities in positions of power, to me, that's just a fact, right? Like, you look at that and you're like, how can you deny? I mean, right? How can you deny white privilege? How can you deny the racism? Like, when you can see clearly the inequalities of who's in power.
Yeah, I feel the same way. But at the same time, I guess people don't see, that's the thing. Like, is it someone choosing to ignore it, or is it someone trying to just bring light to other, because there are exceptions to the rule, which is what I said earlier, right? Where, of course, like this woman said, there are successful people of color, but that doesn't mean that, racism is dead because this person made it. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I don't think it's fair to use people who have, I guess, I don't think they necessarily avoided racism by making it to their position. I think that they, have dealt with it, and maybe if they do push this agenda of just like, I made it, you can too, they probably ignored what they have faced, and that's a whole nother issue, and then a whole nother like, ignorant person there. But at the same time, I just feel like you should not be saying things like that, like, oh yeah, these people of color made it, so what's everyone else's excuse? That shit's fucking stupid. That's so stupid. I'm just like, what woman, what? So things like that are kind of just, I don't know, I think they're just like silly, right? Because again, exceptions to the rule. at the same time, I do think that the opposite is true too. There are people who, you know, just because you're born white doesn't necessarily mean you are born with like a whole bunch of money and things like that.
Sure.
Doesn't mean that you can't, you know, you don't work hard for what you have, right? Whatever.
Right.
Which is something that I've actually had to talk to people of color about, because sometimes I notice that people of color will be angry, which people of color have every right to be angry about particular things because of what's going on now in, you know, in the news and things like that. But I kind of just, I don't particularly enjoy hearing someone saying things like, oh, I feel like all white people are, you know, all white people suck or something like that, right? Where I've heard many times, and I'm just like, well, why do you feel that way? And then I kind of just talk to them about
but
it.
That's like I understand why, like,
what?
I understand why people of color would say I don't like white people, but at the same time, you're saying that you would fucking try to talk to these people about this stuff, like white people, about why they're racist. So I kind of get why you feel that way about why you don't that you don't like it. Listen, guys in the chat, can y'all chill, please? I've been dying of laughter here for at least 10 minutes, and I
haven't even been able to read anything.
Yeah, I've read a few things, and I'm like, okay, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna get into that in a minute.
You know, I wasn't expecting this when I came on this show.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
Delete my information, ladies.
No. No.
So yeah, I was just saying that when people say that they hate an entire race of people, I just kind of feel, I don't feel comfortable with that. Just like I don't feel comfortable with white people saying they hate black people. Like, it's just not, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I feel like, I know people of color are angry because of certain situations, which is fine, but I don't think that should lead you to say that you hate, you know, the people that oppress you. I do feel that the anger makes sense to me. I guess it's just harder because I'm in a situation where I know people who fight for the same things that I'm fighting for. And so it becomes that kind of sort of like mixed feelings, I guess, you know. But at the same time, I do feel like while I'm willing to talk about hard topics like that, you know, not going against someone that's like me, but sort of talking to someone that's like me about something that's kind of like touchy. You know what I mean? Because the anger makes sense, but it's difficult, right? It's difficult to tell people how to feel sometimes. And so I just feel like it's just one of those things that I'm not exactly perfect, so I have to learn how to go about these things, how to go about talking to someone about touchy topics, and how to go about, you know, labeling what the feelings are. And so, yeah, I don't know. I do take the time to talk about it with people and try to educate them, even if I know it might not lead anywhere. I guess it's just how I help myself, maybe. Makes me feel like I'm doing something. Yeah,
definitely.
But I think we said all we needed to say for topic 2. Chat is being crazy. I don't know what's happening, guys. So let's move on to our next segment, cause we need to. This is Fuck That Shit. We love Fuck That Shit because we can just, you know, curse things out. Who doesn't like to do that every now and again? So, Fuck That Shit this week. Luca, what is yours? Luca's busy reading and cursing people out in chat. All right.
You go.
She had to mute her mic because she's laughing so hard. Chat, relax, please, a little bit. Hashtag fuck that shit. Yes, love it. Guys, if you guys stop. Luca's going nuts, guys.
Oh, if shit, y'all are funny.
If you guys experience anything in life and you want to sort of join in the show a little bit, definitely feel free to tweet at us and put hashtag fuck that shit or hashtag, you know, BWT for all of our, you know, little segments, you know, GLMTY for Girl Let Me Tell You, because we like to read your stories, and you can throw them down below in the comments when the video goes up. And I'm gonna stop reading the chat now. I have to. I can't. Luca, what's your fuck that shit? I'm about to be like, fuck that chat, right?
Oh, okay. My fuck that shit is you're a good hunter. It's no worries, bro. It's no worries. But my fuck that shit is people who dismiss my feelings and label me as unreasonable because I'm a woman, and just automatically just say, no, she doesn't know what she's talking about because she's a girl. You know, they don't say that, but they're fucking hinting at it. It's kind of like, you know, they use other words to just relate back to hysteria. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't like that. And I really don't like bitches in the sense that you're a punk ass bitch who won't speak up for yourself when I'm actually around. You have to wait till I leave to say something.
Not bitches to describe women. There's a difference, guys.
Not bitches to describe women. I'm talking about people who like
buttholes.
Who just like they're just like, you know what? Let me just talk shit about Luca after she leaves. Because they fucking already know what would happen if they tried talking to me and I was still there. They're fucking scared. You're weak. It's fine. It's okay. I get it. I do come off as very volatile and aggressive. I understand that. But if you have an issue with me, just let me know. Let me know, and I can tell you exactly how I feel about your fucking issue with me. But the thing is, no one ever wants to come to me about how they feel about me. No one ever wants to say anything to me about it. They're just like, you know what? I'm gonna wait till she's gone, and then I'm gonna say something. Like, oh yeah, you know, like a bunch of like guys or a bunch of girls just get together with their friends and just puff up their chest and say, yeah, Luca's such a fucking bitch. Like, fuck her, right? Like, I can do whatever the fuck I want. Fuck that bitch. I come around dead silent. And I'm like, fascinating. Interesting. That's cute. Like, I deal with it at my job a lot. I've dealt with it on Twitter. I've dealt with it on certain things I've been a part of. Certain groups where I'll make a suggestion or I'll say, hey, you know what, that's actually kind of stupid, you know, and I won't say it's stupid, but I'm like, maybe that's not a good idea. Everyone will be quiet, then they'll change the subject to something else, and then I hear back from someone else saying, hey, you know, we actually did, like, they had an issue with it, but they didn't want to say anything when you were there. And I'm like, why are you like this? Like, why can't you just be honest? Why can't you speak your mind? Is it because, like, I really think, you know, I do shut people down. I do, but that's because people say stupid shit to me, all right? I, you know, I'm, like, bruh. Like, I just, you know, I really don't have any respect for anyone who's not willing to fucking speak up.
Don't talk shit about me behind my back. That's all I gotta say, man.
Yeah, don't talk about me behind my back. Like, don't talk about me behind my back. If you have an issue with me, fucking say it to my goddamn face, and we can talk about it. Or we can discuss it via DM, if you're, like, one of my friends or something. If you're just some random fuckface who doesn't like me, you don't have to tweet me saying, Luca, I don't like you. I don't care.
Winning. You're not winning.
Like, I really don't give a shit if you don't like me. But if you're one of my friends and you have an issue with something I said, DM me, text me, call me, party chat. Let's talk about it. I'm not completely unreasonable. I will listen to what you have to say, all right? You don't need to go behind my back and talk shit about me to our other friends. You really don't. Just talk to me. Just talk to me. Like, honestly, it's kind of like, like, this is going to be a story. It's going to be for, like, you know, for a little bit later. But it's just like, these girls that I hang out with, if they have an issue, they just won't say anything to me about it. They'll just fucking talk about me behind my back, which is fine.
Oh, yeah.
It's fine. Because I'm aware of the kind of people. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm aware of the kind of people that I'm friends with, you know, and I use the term friends loosely. I just hang out with them. I'm friendly with them, right? But it's just like, I really just don't like people who don't speak the fuck up. Hashtag speak podcast.
Ow, ow. Let's no, my fuck that shit is not that serious. But let's just do like PSA, guys, gals, people, everyone, humans. Y'all need to get y'all shit together. Every single show we say it. We will continue to say it. Don't talk about people behind their back, especially to someone else, because that shit gets back to the main person. Duh. What's wrong with you? Oh my god. I feel like I'm talking to children.
Like, I don't understand. Especially my female friends. I'm like, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like, y'all know that all of you talk about each other behind your backs. Y'all have to, like, you're aware of this, right? Like, you know? No? Okay. All right. Well.
Oh, my fuck that shit this week is you know, I live in New York City, so I live in an apartment building, and my neighbors are really close. My hallway is not that big, whatever. I have a neighbor next to me who lives right next to the steps, the staircase to go up. I do live in a 5th floor fucking walk up. Ask me how my thighs look. Anyway.
Well.
That shit's exhausting. So I'm trying to get home at night, you know, that kind of thing. Just tired, just want to get home, take a shower, relax. And my fucking neighbor, which if you're hearing this, I'm glad. Their fucking cat is always in the fucking middle of the fucking hallway next to the stupid staircase when I'm trying to get to my freaking door. And the fucking cat is such an asshole because he'll just be like, rah. And I'm like, excuse me, you're in my way, kitty cat. You best move the fuck out my way.
Hey man,
before I kick your ass.
Don't be mean to fucking cats, man. Like,
no, you're gonna tell this cat. No.
No.
Yeah, I mean, don't be mean, but definitely like stand your ground. Like definitely show it. That,
no. You're gonna tell this cat to stop fucking with me. And
yeah,
stop,
that's right.
And stop staring at me with those creepy ass eyes.
First
and
of
stop
all,
hissing at me.
I'm so sorry to the cat who. Listen, there's cats who like don't even want to be around me.
Out of here.
There's cats who don't want to be around me. I'm just like, you know what, this is sad, but I'm gonna let them live their lives.
I had no problem.
They're beautiful
with this.
creatures.
Listen,
I
had no problem with this cat.
I do not condone Blue's message here.
No, I'm not saying fuck all cats. I'm saying fuck the next door neighbor's cat. Whatever the fuck the name is. I don't even know what his name is. Listen, all I know is that I had no problem with this cat until all of a sudden, I don't know what it was, but it decided to just hiss at me when I'm coming up the steps. First of all, I'm tired as fuck.
Since your fuck shit, I'm just saying.
Listen, I'm tired as fuck. You are not going to hiss at me when I'm trying to get home. You are in my way, kitty cat. You best move. That's all I know. Listen, I don't care how you guys feel in chat. All I need to say is that cat right there, that little orange motherfucker, he needs to stop. Okay? And I know it's a boy because she be like, oh, who's a little boy? I'm like, why is she sitting in the hallway talking to her cat like this? What the fuck is going? Okay, well, my neighbor, that's a whole nother topic.
Because cats are precious and they deserve all the love in the world.
That cat is an asshole.
First of all, I don't even care if that cat is an asshole because I love it.
Ew. You should come over here and like pick it up and just be like, hi little boy, and move it out of my fucking way when I'm coming up the steps.
Listen, I would never touch someone else's cat without their permission. And without the cat's permission too. The cat, I gotta make sure the cat's okay with it.
Can I touch you? What the fuck?
Like, you know, you have to like gauge their interest and see like whether or not they're gonna
that cat is
jump
going
the fuck out of the way.
Dude,
so.
The cat is gonna one of these days the cat is gonna attack me and I'm gonna be like, Luca, this cat that you were giving such compliments to decided to scratch me up. Good. And like I'm in the hospital. Like, how about that?
I mean, I would take the cat's side. I'm just letting you know this right now.
Your compliment earlier, it is now null void. That shit's done. X it out of my mind. Don't come visit me. Actually, if you come visit me, you can see the cat for yourself. And then you tell me if you want to be all nice to it when it hisses at your ass.
I'm going to be like, I'm going to leave him alone. I'm going to be like, okay.
I have to get to my door. How am I going to? Okay, so.
You step over him. Go in through the back, okay?
Are you serious? Step over him so he could scratch my ass? Literally, my butt?
Yep.
Okay. You just like cats to scratch your ass. I see.
I love cats in general, so I'm always going to take their side.
You like that. Okay. What is your fuck that shit this week, Cameron?
Oh, man. I think there's so many, right? But like, I think mine is don't steal other people's work.
Mm.
Like, what the fuck? I feel like
Plagiarism.
yeah, there's plagiarism, and then there's like a couple different things that are going on that I've seen this week. And one is like someone I know, I've heard that who's a white woman, and I've heard that she has like used people of color's work in her copy on her website and is being called out and not responding to it, and that's really disappointing. And but I know that happens all the time with all different kinds of people and ways, and it's like, come on, people, like get creative, don't steal other people's work. I mean, if you're stealing other people's work, it's you're not trusting your own creativity and your own intelligence. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I agree. I feel like that's low.
Yeah.
That's real low. Like, are you serious? Are you that like, desperate that you have to go and steal someone's shit?
Right.
Yeah. I don't like that. That's like has like in school when people steal people's homework and put their name on it instead of yours. Oh my God.
That never happened.
I feel
to me,
like
thankfully.
children do those things. Come on, guys. Get it together.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to our next segment. I keep doing it, but I'm not doing it on purpose. It just comes out that way.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
This is But Why Though? Where we ask why people are the way they are. I don't like that people are putting cat emojis in chat right now. I'm taking offense to this. Okay, you guys are making me angry. Just kidding. Do what you want, guys. It's fine.
Hashtag cats are the best.
No, hashtag fuck that cat.
Hashtag I love cats. Hashtag
God.
I would choose a cat over blue any day. Hashtag.
How rude. I'm so much better than a cat. Oh my God. Anyway. So, but why though? Okay, I have a question. I don't know if it's because I'm short. I am only 5 feet tall. I just feel like people feel so comfortable standing near me. Like, and I don't mean like standing near me like, oh, we're waiting for the bus. Like, it's okay. Like, we're fine. We're all in the same vicinity. I mean like standing so close to me that people think that I'm with the person. And I'm just like, what do you do? I just look at them. There's all this space. And you want to stand right beside me. Like, do you want to feel my aura? Do you want to smell me? Is like, what's happening here? I don't like, it's not super uncomfortable. I just don't like, can you please? And then I have this issue where not only are they right next to me, but they try and squeeze by to try and like grab something, or I don't know, like get by me if I'm walking too slowly, because apparently I walk too slow. I don't know. My legs are short. What do you want me to do? And though they just like squeeze, like they don't say excuse me. No, saying excuse me is just like not a thing anymore. No, they just want to just squeeze by as if you have a body, sir. You're not a stick. You can't get by me. This is a very small space here. You are not a child. And it's oftentimes men doing this to me, where I'm just like, dude, I'm alive here. Do you not see me? Hello? Anyhow, say excuse me. Don't be fucking rude. Okay? I'm going to start yelling at people. I swear to God. Right now, I've been doing the whole sucking my teeth thing, rolling my eyes, but it's about to escalate. I'm not even playing games. I feel bad for the sucker who decides to fucking squeeze by me when I'm having a bad day. Whew, it's going to get heated.
I mean, I'm 5'3", so I'm not that much taller than you. Mm-hmm. And I agree. Like, come on, tall people. Like, you can't just push us around because we're small.
As the shortest person in this podcast, I concur.
It's just so...
Yeah? How tall
she's
are
so
you?
short.
4'11".
Oh my God, yay! We're all like, okay, good. All right, we're all in the same boat here. Yeah, I mean, I just... hey, there's nothing wrong with being tall, but just be mindful, just be thoughtful. Like, just because you're taller, just because we're small, we need space too,
I just feel like it makes me feel like I'm not even like there. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Listen. I don't feel comfortable with you doing that. Okay, just stop it. Stop. God damn it. Anyhow, what is your but why though, Luca, this week?
Okay, so this ties into what I was talking about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I'm friendly with a bunch of girls who talk shit about each other behind each other's backs. It's fine, whatever, right? Like, I hang out with them because I'm bored and I like drama, right? So, you know, my friend, she's like, hey, you want to go to this restaurant? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then I'm talking to the fucking cashier at work and I mention where we're going and she's like, ma'am, that's $50 just to get in. I was like, hold up, pause, reverse, rewind. What did you just say? $50 just to get in? Bruh. I was like, you must have me fucked up. So I texted my friend like, yo, did you know it was cost $50 just to get into this place? And I'm texting her with the intent, like, man, she must know. She must not know because it's like, there's no way that this broke bitch would agree to go here, right? Nah, fam. She knew. She fucking knew. And she's like, yeah, no, it's no big deal. It's like $50. I'm like, bruh, it's $50 to get in. That's not including tipping your fucking waiter. That's not including drinks, which would be fucking expensive. That's not including parking. That's not including the fact that I'd have to dress the fuck up. So I was like, you know what? You must got me fucked up. Like, I really don't know who you think you're talking to right now, miss, but I'm good. Have fun. Bye. Like, I'm not going. And she's like, wow, really? Like, you said it was okay. I'm like, yeah, that's before I knew about the fucking $50 price point. Like, thank God someone told me. Because if I had shown up at that goddamn restaurant not knowing I'd have to spend that much money, the amount of salt I would feel.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Like, it's really not. And it's like, the fact that, the fact that people, like, she was upset at me for not wanting to go. I'm like, dude, I mean, I could spend $50 at a restaurant, but I'm not. Like, why would I do that? Why would I waste my money like that? We could go literally anywhere else and spend $15. Like, it's just not something I really get. I've never spent $50 worth of, like, I've never eaten $50 worth of food. Like, I've never spent $50 at a restaurant before, So I can't even, like, I'm good with like 4 chicken nuggets and a small fry. So yeah, you can miss me with that shit.
4 chicken nugget and a small fry. Cheap date.
Yeah, cheap date for sure.
Now I know you will be going to McDonald's every day that you come visit.
I mean, I'm down with that. That's fine.
Oh God, lady, no, please. I'm not down with that. Oh my God.
You're like, Luca, you want to go to this expensive restaurant? I'm like, are you paying though? If not, then nah,
no, that's a little bit too much. Like, nah, I'm not about to do the whole like 50 just to get in. Like, nah, we're good. Friends are not sometimes I feel like trying to make plans with friends is like, it just takes so much work that I just feel like not doing it anymore,
Yeah.
So I'm just like, is it even worth it at this point? Like, there should be a compromise. That's how I feel.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know why it's so hard. Why is it so hard now?
Everyone's just so busy, I guess. And everyone kind of just like, I don't know, wants to do one thing and everyone else wants to do something else. And like right now I'm trying to figure out my birthday plan, right? Which my birthday is October 17. But apparently we can't do it that weekend. We have to do it the weekend after, right? Because, that weekend everyone's busy. Fine, no problem. So the weekend after, oh, wait, people can't do it that weekend either because they have other things to do. So I'm just like, you know what? I feel like giving up. Now, apparently we might do it on Halloween weekend. And I'm just like, well, at this point, is it even my birthday anymore? God damn. Anyhow.
Oh, man.
So I think that's all, guys. Let's move on to our next segment, which is basically just like where to find us, because you want to know, don't you?
Yeah.
So this is where to find us, where we plug our info. So Luca, let us know where do we find you?
All right, it was a great show today. Chat was very interesting. Cameron, it was amazing having you on. You offered a lot of really great insight. It was really nice meeting you.
You too.
Yeah, so you can find me at TheAshenLuca on Twitter. I'm about to start a YouTube channel because people keep asking. So, be on the lookout for that. And then you can also catch me on RDX Podcast. That's every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's on Dealer Gaming's channel. You guys can find links on my Twitter.
Yes, and our special guest, Cameron, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you, and you had so much to say. We loved it.
Thank you so much.
Let us know where we can find you.
Yeah, I am at Cameron Airen on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And then my website is CameronAiren.com. This has been amazing. Thank you so much for having me on and, trusting me enough to have me on to talk about
of course.
These things. And yeah, both of you are great.
Oh, you were great. We kind of, our show is kind of, interesting, but it worked. I mean, I feel like it worked great. And I'm glad that you were able to come by. And guys, her links are down below along with Luca's. And of course, you guys know I'm Blue, and Twitch, Twitter, Discord, like they're all below. So definitely click, follow. We definitely want to hear from you if you guys are interested in being on the show via voice, or if you want to send a little story to us via email, you can just send it to speakpodcasts@gmail.com. You can see it there. And yeah, we hope that you guys had fun. Chat was ridiculous as per usual. If you guys want to chat about even more things like this, come down to the Discord, where we kind of have, conversations all the time. We have fun in the Discord, and we also can open the floor to these kinds of conversations, guys, if you feel like you have much more to say about the topics that we spoke about. Okay, I think that is all, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.